And here we go. Hello and welcome to Take the Silly Out of the Silly Season. This is one of our third last workshops for the year. Excuse me. I know it is only the start of November. It's 2024. It's 10 a.m. here in Melbourne. But there is no time like the present to start to get organised for the silly season. Let's make it not quite so silly. Let's make it more enjoyable and more focused, and share more gratitude and enjoyment for the year that we have had. So we're going to share some tips in relation to that today. Let me click on here. We're going to keep on moving. So thanks everyone for coming. Good on you for making the time to be here. The session is being recorded. We will share it on YouTube a bit later on today. We'll share the recording. That's for people that couldn't make it in person because, as I said, it is 10 a.m. here in Melbourne, but it could be heaven knows what time it is wherever you are in the world. By the way, where are you joining us from? Introduce yourself in the chat to let us know where you're joining us from and what are you looking to learn today? What do you find challenging about the end of the year, Christmas time, holiday season? Let us know what you're looking to learn today so I can make sure we address that today. And if you're watching the recording, you are welcome to comment in the comments below, and we can get back to you as well. Of course, we can't get back to you straight away like we can in the session today, watching it live, but we certainly can interact with you, the comments on YouTube. So look forward to hearing what you have to say about the session today. So our business space and time is all about making conscious choices with how we use our space and our time. So it's not just doing things because that's how you were taught how to do them, or grandma said, or mum said, or your dad told you. We want to create systems to make life simpler for you that works for you and your family right now. There might be different situations, different circumstances that you are in with your family right now. So let's make those choices that suit you and your family. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. As I said, share in the chat or in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. What's your intention today? Changes of any sort are easier if you have a clear path and a clear thing in mind on what you're trying to achieve. So share that with us. And I'll also share an offer to continue the journey after today. We've got other workshops coming up, another couple after this before the end of the year, and a new year one to kick us off. So hang around and I'll tell you more about those towards the end. So here I am. My name's Julie Cliff, and I am a professional organizer and a declutter coach. And before starting our business in 2015, I was an executive assistant and administrator for 20 years. So I love helping others get and stay organized. And now I do this here in Melbourne, hands-on help for people in their homes to declutter and organise. And we have a team of girls here in Melbourne and Geelong that work with people in their homes. Sorry, my phone just rang and distracted me for a second. So yeah, we help people. This afternoon I'm going to help a lady in person, sort of with time management and arranging their day-to-day, as well as a bit of organising systems so that her day-to-day runs a little smoother and a little easier. Setting up those systems, as I mentioned before. Married, husband, and a couple of teenagers, and one's at school and the other is here, who's not working today. So here we are in our session today, Take the Silly Out of the Silly Season. We're going to be talking about how we can effectively manage and reduce holiday-related stress. We're also going to look at strategies on how to employ and set realistic expectations and boundaries during the holiday season. Sometimes our boundaries go completely out the window at this time of year. We think, oh, the year's almost over, or, oh, it is the holidays, I should be able to do this or that. So we're going to look at those expectations and boundaries and be clear on them for ourselves. We're also going to look at practical time management techniques that can help with our preparation and organisation. And we'll also see how we can get the family and loved ones involved. And that also helps just lighten the load a little, but it also helps create a sense of togetherness, which is really, I'm pretty sure that's what Christmas is supposed to be about, and the end of year celebrations, coming together, sharing, and being together. And when I say family as well, it might not be your birth family. It might be just your loved ones, your family and friends, sorry, your friends and colleagues that you basically call your family, because I know families are very complicated. Some people don't want anything to do with their actual birth family. So let's look at surrounding ourselves with like-minded people that we actually want to spend time with. So here we go. Let's start to plan ahead and have a good think about what do you want your Christmas and holiday season to look like? Do you want to run around like a headless chook with no plans and absolutely no idea what's going on? That is fun to do for a while, because sometimes we are so regimented during the year. It's nice to have no plans, but depending on what you want to achieve, some plans might make things a bit easier. We'll talk about them. But we also want to reconsider all the shoulds at this time of year. And by the shoulds, I'm thinking about you should buy presents for everyone, you should host the perfect dinner party, you should be traveling, you should be decluttering and organizing. But I really want you to have a good think about those things. We will talk about presents, hosting, and traveling shortly. But what is going to work for you and your family? I don't want to get to the end of the holiday season and be absolutely burnt out. We're exhausted, we're overwhelmed, and we need a holiday from the holidays. So let's go into this time of year, the last few weeks of the year, and going into the new year, being mindful and being conscious about those decisions we made. As I said, that's what the business space and time is all about, being able to deliberately make those choices for yourself. But also we're going to have a look at some of the time management challenges we have at this time of the year. We've only got however many days until Christmas. But being realistic about what we can do between now and the end of the year. Sometimes a deadline like the end of the year is great and motivating to get some things done, but do they really have to be done this year, or could it wait until the new year? And the last dot point there says that sometimes one of the shoulds that we feel is we have to catch up with everybody that we haven't seen this year, and we have to do lunch, and we have to do this, and we should do this, and we should do that. But again, I want you to be realistic. This whole session today is making the end of year time something that you enjoy, not something that's overwhelming and exhausting and determined by what everybody else thinks you should be doing. This is about what's going to work for you and your family. So perhaps some of those lunch catch-ups can wait until the new year. So more of the shoulds that we can start to examine is about the financial stress due to increased spending. Have a think about presents. We're going to talk about that again in a moment, about the amount of money we're spending, family expectations for the perfect holiday, and also emotional well-being for yourself, and especially for caregivers. We work a lot of people that are caring for somebody in the home, either with a disability, or they're unwell, or they just need extra assistance for lots of different reasons. This examination of all the shoulds is really being mindful about what you want to do with your space and your time, hence the name of our business, Space and Time. And let's create a mindful Christmas. And how do we go about creating a mindful Christmas? Well, here's a few things to think about. We want to embrace kindness and show compassion and lend a helping hand. So again, this is all within reason. We want to put ourselves first. Let's show some compassion for ourselves. But also, if there are people in need, maybe you might invite them over for a cup of tea, or they might join you for Christmas lunch. But don't feel that you should do that. This is things that you want to do for yourself. If we're embracing a mindful Christmas, embracing kindness, the spirit of Christmas, being together, enjoying each other's company, we can extend some compassion and a helping hand to others. Also, strengthening bonds with loved ones and community. Again, family might be more like your community or your friends rather than your related family. So it really is, again, about spending time with the people that you want to spend time with. Just because it's Christmas doesn't mean you have to spend time with your related family. Maybe you could do that at another time, or maybe you don't see them at all, which perhaps is a great thing for you in your situation. But really surround yourself with your loved ones, or if you need some time alone, do that as well. This is all about you and your choices for creating a mindful Christmas. And again, at this time of year, we want to reflect and express thanks for the year's blessings. So the things that we have achieved, the things that we've done, the places we've been able to go, the fact that we are still alive, we're still breathing, perhaps we've overcome lots of things in the last 12 months, or whether we've just had a great year. It's really a great time that we can stop and smell the roses, so to speak, and be really grateful for the year that has passed. Maybe it's been a crappy year. Maybe it's been absolutely terrible, but dwelling on it and worrying about it, it doesn't help us. We know when we're in situations like that, all we can do is continue to put one foot in front of the other, surround ourselves with great people, and just move through that time. So reflecting and expressing thanks and gratitude is a great way to spend this time of year and having a mindful Christmas. And also the idea of giving back. If you can get involved in charitable activities and initiatives, if you've got some time to go and volunteer or spend some time with somebody that's needing some just help and support at the moment, it might be just going and clearing their kitchen sink, or making them a cup of tea, or taking some lunch and sharing with them. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. It could be just something small, and it's really a lovely thing to do for you and for them as well. And also that last dot point is so important at this time of year. I would really love you to be thinking about simplicity and mindfulness, that we're thinking about the meaningful experiences at this time of year and not materialism. So, sharing, again, I've said it 15 times already, but sharing the experiences and the time to be together, a walk in nature together, something that's simple and mindful, and not buying more pieces of plastic and more stuff and more. It's been really grateful, keeping things simple and being really concerted effort on how you want this time of year to look. And thanks for everyone that's joined us today. Don't forget to share where you're joining us from and what you're looking to learn today. What is it that's a bit stressful and difficult for you at this time of year? We'd love to hear from you. So let's have a think about the idea of planning ahead and planning early. As I said, we're only just at the start of November. It's the 7th of November today. Because some of these things do take planning. You don't want to just get to the week before Christmas and go, nothing's sorted, which can certainly happen if you are in a busy family. Let's start to make some preparations now, well in advance, to avoid the last minute stress. There's nothing worse, I think, than walking around the shopping centers looking for a last minute gift and beating yourself up thinking, I should have done this earlier, and those sorts of things. So let's plan early. And early planning also allows us to set clear goals and priorities for the season. Again, being deliberate about what are those goals? How do we want to spend our time? And how do we want to prioritize who we're spending it with, and when and where, and what our overall Christmas time looks like. A great way to do this is to create a holiday calendar. So you can write down and just have an A4 printout of the month, which you can sort of see in the background in this picture here, and just jot out the different events that you've got coming up over the next, say, 6 weeks leading up to Christmas. Might be a few more than that, but it's probably close. Yeah, about that long. And then when you've got it written out as well, you can go, oh man, that week looks too much. I don't want to be out every night for Christmas drinks that last week before Christmas. Can I move a couple of things around? Could we do a breakfast with someone? Could we, as I said before, schedule it for the new year? Once you've got this holiday calendar planned out, you can really have a look at important things you want to do, like starting to decorate the home. I did see one of my friends, she's got a Christmas tree up already. She loves it and she's getting right into it. So she's made that decision to start decorating early. You know, when do you need to send out your cards? Do you need to send out cards? Could you just send a few texts instead? And again, in this holiday plan, and we could prepare special meals and really start to look ahead at what that time is going to look like between now and the 25th of December and into the new year as well. Again, once you've got it written down, you can start to move things around if it looks like it's going to be too overwhelming. And don't forget about all the things that the kids have got too. Thankfully, one of my sons has finished school now, but I do know at this time of last year, and it would be the same for people at the moment, they're finishing their end of year exams and those sorts of things. So it can just get a little bit crazy around the home. So having a nice, clear plan can really help with the stress and the overwhelm at this time of year. We can also set a budget for gifts and decorations as well. Have a good think, how much do you want to spend on gifts and decorations this year? Write it down. Make a little spreadsheet, write it in a little pocketbook. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just put your money aside as well, doing some budgeting that way, but also just having a clear idea in mind. I'm going to spend $100 on each of the kids, or whatever your budget is. It really helps you to avoid overspending if you've got a clear idea in mind for your budget. And also for your holidays, where are you planning to travel in this holiday season? Again, keeping an eye on how much you want to spend, where you're going, what are the cost-effective ways to decorate the home, or cost-effective holiday planning, holiday spending, holiday destinations, planning it in advance. Now, in relation to this holiday planning, maybe this is a little bit late, but it's better than the last minute and a little bit, further down the track. You could even start to think about holiday planning for 12 months' time as well, and setting a budget and being able to put money aside for Christmas in 12 months' time. I don't want to complicate it at all, but I'm just trying to think that when you're budgeting, long range goals are a great way to look at budgeting and spending. But for this year, have a think. Where are you going? Do you need to go anywhere? Can you have a holiday at home? Could you do some sightseeing in your own, backyard or your own city? It might be a great cost-effective way to do it, so you can stay within your budget and manage holiday spending. Oh, and here, of course, couldn't have one of our workshops without talking about decluttering and organising. And it's a great thing to do before our guests arrive. Now, this is a good one to think about the shoulds. You don't have to host at home. You could go to somebody else's house. You could go out to a restaurant. You could have a picnic. But sometimes having a deadline, like I said before, and inviting guests over into your home is a great motivation to tidy up at home. I tell you, even though I am a professional organizer and have been for the last 10 years, I still quite like a deadline and people coming to visit to give the house a good tidy up, a good clean, to welcome guests. Now, we should be doing that all the way through the year for ourselves. We should have a neat and tidy house for ourselves because everything is so much easier. But it is great to have a deadline and a reason for getting ourselves sorted. But if it's too much, ask somebody else to host. Or as I said, go to the park, go to a restaurant, go to McDonald's, something nice and easy. And also that last dot point there says decluttering your space also allows you to showcase your holiday decorations more effectively. And I love that idea. Let's clear away some of the normal everyday clutter that we might have around, whether it's vases or flowers or kids' artwork, and just really highlight the holiday decorations. We only have 2 or 3 boxes of holiday and Christmas decorations. I usually just get 1 box out every year and the Christmas tree, and I get the kids to decorate the tree and then put a few things around the room. It might take us 1 hour, because for me, I don't want to do any more than that. It's enough to just have a few lovely decorations in our immediate living room. But I know some people love Christmas and they decorate every room, and there's train sets and tinsel and baubles and needlework and all sorts of things. If you love it, absolutely knock yourself out, but don't feel like you should be going overboard. Be realistic and being true to yourself and how you want to spend your holiday time. Continuing on the idea of decluttering your space, start to clear out some unnecessary items. Prioritize the rooms and areas that will be used during the holidays. So if you've got people coming to lunch and you're going to be on the deck, maybe you could squirrel a few things away in other rooms and just have the living room and your deck nice and neat and tidy. Again, being realistic with how you want to use your time and getting ready for your people coming over. Also consider donating or selling items you no longer need. And this could be a good time to get rid of some stuff as well, because people might be looking for the items that you're letting go so that they can get ready for their Christmas. So even decluttering your ornaments and those sorts of things as well, which leads us perfectly into the next screen, which is organize your decoration. So as you're getting your Christmas decorations out this year, have a good think. When was the last time you used them? Perhaps you've got a little box of bits and pieces that you never use. Maybe now is a perfect time to donate them, because somebody else might like them at this time of year and use them. And start to sort them so that you can get the right storage containers for your lights and your fragile decorations. And so that when you go to pack it away this year, it's going to be even easier to put it away, and which in turn makes it easier to get yourself sorted for next year and be able to just get them out, know exactly where they are. They're labeled, they're categorized, they're easy to identify, and you know exactly where everything is. So while you're delving into your decorations, have a good think about what you're going to use. Will you ever use it? Even if it's something you've had for a long time, maybe somebody else might enjoy it and use it rather than it just stays in the box every year. Go through and start to organize as you are setting up this year. And when you go to pack them up as well, is a great time to be able to do all this storage, labels and categories, etc. But it's a great thing to do at this time of year. Have you got too many decorations? How about gift shopping ideas? So you can, we talked about before, setting a budget and that sort of thing with shopping and gifts. So let's have a good think about some strategies there. So you could try online shopping and early purchases. Going online can be really convenient and there's a big selection. But shopping online is not for everybody. People still do love to go into the shops and feel them and hang on to them and those sorts of things. But so whichever works for you, but there's traps either way, I think, isn't there? Online, there is so many millions of things you could buy. So have a list and stick to it when you're online and buying things. And don't just buy it because it's a bargain. Make sure you really do need whatever it is. And the same as when you go to buy gifts as well. Start early and take advantage of sales that are going on. Avoid shipping delays and avoid the last minute stress of being a bit delayed. So use the time that you've got now to start your shopping. I know that some people that shop all year round for gifts, which is great. Just make sure you know where you put them, and so they don't get lost. And so that this time of year you go, oh, where are all those gifts? And the other idea for gift shopping strategies is to search for ideas to suit your budget. So you could use something like ChatGPT or an AI, like Claude, or there's a million ways you could say, give me 20 ideas for a 7-year-old boy around $20. And it would come up with a heaps of ideas. And there are lots of different lists as well that circulate at this time of year. Maybe it's the toy shops that circulate them, or yeah, all sorts of different places might put these lists together of great options for gifts. Have a look at some of those that might help you with budget-friendly gift options to stick within the budget that you have set for yourself. And also creatively look for ideas for meaningful gifts that won't break the bank. So it might even be hand making some things, excuse me, hand making things, or going to a market and buying nice jam for somebody. See what you can come up with rather than just another piece of plastic for the kids and another pair of socks for dad. But again, this is all being mindful about what do you want Christmas to look like, and how do you want to be spending your time on your gift shopping. But this might be helpful for ideas to suit your budget. And this is one of my favorite slides at all, as well. Consider not giving gifts. My family and I decided maybe nearly 10 years ago now that we weren't giving gifts to anybody. We just sort of said, you buy your own gifts, we'll buy our own gifts. That way we're not receiving things we don't want. We don't have to spend time, energy, money on buying other people's things. We just get the things that we want within the budget that we set for ourselves. So I would love for you to consider not giving gifts at all, or it could mean not literally a gift, but looking at experiences and making time spent together, heartfelt gestures for more meaningful gifts. Again, sort of a handmade gift, something like that. But, maybe you could do a group gift of going on a beach trip, or hot air ballooning, or go to the zoo together, rather than, again, another piece of plastic, another toy for the kids. We really want to reduce the emphasis on material gifts to alleviate the financial pressure and focus on the true spirit of this Christmas time. And, the commercialism of Christmas can be really tough. Even for people that do have money, it's tough. But even more so for those ones that are struggling, that the cost of living at the moment is astronomical. So, just getting by from week to week. And now there's pressure that we've got to go and buy all these shiny gadgets that we see advertised. I'd really love you to reconsider the gifts that you are giving this Christmas season. Let's continue on the idea of our planning in advance, and look at meal planning and create a holiday meal plan. So we can use a bit of a menu, create it in advance, like Friday, we're going to eat this, Saturday, we're going to eat this, Christmas Day, we're going to eat this, and write it all down, considering dietary preferences and any special dishes that you need to make. Planning in this way helps you avoid last-minute grocery store dashes and meal preparation stress. So again, we just want to make this fun, an enjoyable time of year. We can do all these things, but if we have the time to plan it out. So from our menu, we can then, with our meal planning, create a shopping list. So anything that you will be serving over the holiday time, list the ingredients that you need and pop it on the shopping list. This shopping list based on your menu ensures you don't forget anything, and it helps you stay within your budget as well. Perhaps Christmas lunch with all, your roast meats and those sorts of things, it wouldn't be the same without your gravy or your special sauces or your mint sauce. Make sure you've got those in special little ingredients that we don't have every day. Make sure you pop them on the shopping list, again, so we don't forget them and we stay within our budget as well. If you love to have seafood and some of those things that might be a little bit more expensive at this time of year, just be considerate of how you plan your menu and your shopping list at this time. Here's some other time management ideas for saving time during our holiday time. And a good way to do this with time management is to be able to cook and freeze dishes in advance. So this is continuing on our meal planning. So we could start to prepare some of these dishes that freeze well, whether it's a lasagna or something that the family like to have over the holiday time. Start to get them ready now, pop them in the freezer, and so that when we're getting closer to the holiday time, Christmas Day, New Year's Day, the dishes are already done. So use that planning calendar, use your the holiday planning calendar, and pop in those ideas as well and make some time to create those dishes. Another great time management idea is delegating tasks. I'd love you to be able to assign responsibilities to the family and get other people to be able to help you out. Many hands make light work. But again, not just many hands make light work, many hands makes it fun, enjoyable, spending time together, sharing recipes, sharing stories, being together, and sharing this special time of year. So bring people together and ask them if they can help you out as well. So you might do that collectively, or you might say, okay, when you come on Friday, can you bring roast potatoes or something like that? Delegating the tasks and getting other people to help you out with meals, planning, moving from here to there, travel, all sorts of tasks we can delegate from other family members or friends during this time. All right, so continuing on the idea of time management, we want to use our holiday planner to keep track of our tasks, events, and deadlines, and just keep them all in the one place. We started to mention that when we're planning out our travel away, planning our meals, planning different events. Like I said, maybe you've got 5 nights in a row you're supposed to be catching up with somebody for Christmas drinks. Well, that will just be exhausting. Might be fun, but you'd probably get to the end of the week and absolutely be exhausted. So use that holiday planner to look in advance and be able to plan it nicely and space it out so you get a bit of time to breathe in between. And also set time limits. So you can use your holiday planner and literally plot time in the diary, whether it's for decluttering, organizing your Christmas decorations, for the meal planning. So make sure that they don't get too big, these tasks, and consume your entire day. Just allocate some time in the diary to get these tasks done. So this holiday planner, keeping track of your tasks and literally playing them in the diary, is a great way to manage our time. And when we're talking about time management, a great way to streamline our time is to streamline our decorations. And we were talking before about going through and sorting and decluttering our decorations. As I said, this is a great time to create easy to set up decorations that don't require excessive time and effort. Just get a couple of little pop-up Christmas trees or a few bits and pieces, So it still feels like Christmas, but you haven't taken up your whole day. Again, being mindful, how do you want to use your time at this time of year? All right, and we did just look at this just a second ago, but I'm going to emphasize it again. Delegate, delegate, delegate. So don't be afraid to ask for help from friends or family. And as I said, it doesn't only just lighten the load, but it also invites others to share the holiday preparations with you. When I was young, I always used to like to put up the Christmas tree. It was my job, and nobody else was allowed to touch the Christmas tree. But I think it was probably a little bit of an opportunity missed to be able to spend that time with my brothers and sisters and mum and dad, to be able to do that together. This is what it's all about. And also continuing on, delegate, delegate, delegate is the idea, and I just realized there's a spelling mistake in delegate up the top. I will tweak that. Assign specific responsibilities to different people, like someone can set the table, someone can wrap gifts, someone can prepare side dishes, and get different people to contribute in different ways to be able to help the whole season just go a little nicely. Here's some ways to be able to reduce stress, just checking the time, we're doing good. So hopefully a lot of those things that we have already shared will be reducing the stress. You know, we're really making a concerted effort ourselves to spend our time how we want. We've decided, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to see that person. No, I'm not going to do that, because I'm going to do this, this, and this. So hopefully, with a clear plan, we've already reduced our stress. But here are some more ways around this time we can reduce our stress. One way to do it is to prioritize self-care. So make time for yourself and engage in activities you enjoy. Like I said before, you don't want to catch up with your family, maybe you don't need to, or you could just see them in small amounts, or just visit them for breakfast, or, you know, make deliberate choices with who you surround yourselves with. So prioritizing your self-care. And as I said right at the very start of this session today, sometimes our normal routines go completely out of the window at this time of year. Oh, yeah, I'll have another drink. Oh, I'll have another piece of cake. But I really would love you to prioritize your self-care and think about continuing to eat good food, nourishing ourselves, drinking lots of water, so that we are looking after ourselves at this time. And that leads on to setting boundaries as well, around, you know, what we're eating, what we're drinking, as well as saying no when somebody asks us to do something that we don't want to do, or we're overcommitting ourselves. So prioritizing self-care and setting boundaries can be two great ways to manage our stress. Would love you to practice some mindfulness, you know, staying present and appreciate the moments as they come. So if we are doing some meal prep, for example, we're cooking up something to put in the freezer, ready for the Christmas time, you know, we're just present, we're, you know, peeling the apples, we're cutting the apples to make our applesauce or apple pie, whatever we might be doing, you know, and we are just staying present within that moment. We're not thinking, oh, I need to do this and need to do that. Let's just stay focused. We're doing the dishes, we're peeling the potatoes, we're staying mindful, we're staying present to appreciate the time that we are working right here, right now. Something for us to use all year round as well. And also, we've talked a lot about staying organized, planning ahead, and being well prepared to help us reduce our stress. So I hope some of these tips have been helpful in relation to that. You can also look at some relaxation techniques, deep breathing exercise, you know, just stopping for a few moments, take a few deep breaths before you move into the next task, but also scheduling breaks as well. So using that planner that we've been talking about the whole session, literally plot breaks, you know, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's having a cup of tea, whether it's just stopping for a few minutes, watch a Christmas movie. Carve out time for short breaks to be able to reduce the time that we are just running around in circles. We want to schedule time for breaks. And some lovely ways to be able to reduce stress as well. We've touched on this a little bit before, is expressing gratitude, reflect on the positive aspects of the season, you know, to be content and be happy with what we have rather than focusing on the things we don't have. So we're focusing on what we've got to be able to reduce stress and reassess our priorities. You know, if you're still feeling a bit stressed, maybe you still need to reassess the shoulds from the start of the presentation. Maybe there is still too much. People are still expecting too much. Maybe you're expecting too much of yourself. You know, should do this, should do that, should see everybody at this time of year. Perhaps this is a great time to be able to reassess that now if you're still feeling a bit overwhelmed. So in summary, and if we've missed anything today, pop it in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. Or if you're watching on YouTube, put it in the comments and we can get back to you if there's something that we didn't address today. But in summary, to take the silly out of the silly season, we have really spent some time of planning ahead. Again, we've got, say, 6-7 weeks until Christmas now. Hopefully that will give you a good preparation. If not, maybe next year we might start planning a little bit earlier. We set a budget for our holiday plans, for our meals, for our presents, and we also had a look at decluttering as well as a good excuse to get ourselves sorted at this time of year. We also looked at organising decorations and shopping wisely to stick within our budget. We looked at efficient meal planning and time management, and we've just looked at how to reduce stress and prioritise self-care. So we really want to do all of these things to be able to enjoy the holiday season because we're prepared and we're organised and we're enjoying our time because we have made the choices that this is how we want to spend our time. So we've got some upcoming events. I did promise at the start that we would invite you along to our next sessions. And the next one we have is in 2 weeks' time, on the 21st of November. It's at the same time, which is all about time management for busy people. So this would be a great one. Again, as we get to Christmas, we'll probably be thinking about continuing on preparations for Christmas, but also plans for into the new year. So how can we make the last few weeks of the year working well and prioritize those important things, important tasks, and perhaps put some on the back burner until next year. So come along and join us on the 21st of November. And then the last session for the year is going to be less is more. Simplify your home, excuse me, simplify your life, and all about really reducing more and more stuff, reducing more stuff coming in, reducing putting more things on your to-do list. And so we can really appreciate what we have because less really is more. Thank you, Mary Lou. She's popped the links to both of those workshops in the chat if you'd like to come along to those sessions. Time management for busy people and also less is more. And then the first session for the new year will be on Thursday, the 13th of February at 10 a.m., which is the Focus Board online workshop. So the Focus Board is a bit like a vision board, but it's easier to put together. It's more focused, hence the name Focus Board. And we just create some pretty little colored discs like this with some paper and some, some glue and some scissors and some textures. And we write down some important things that we want to focus on for the new year. So come and join us for that one. The link is in the chat as well. And so join us to start to make preparations for the new year. Again, Thursday, 13th of February. And just for coming along today, I would love to hear from you. Would love to jump on Zoom and help you plan your silly season or not so silly season. Would love to offer you a 15-minute call on Zoom. Send me an email, julie@spaceandtime.com.au. Come along and join us and make a time, and we can talk about you and your planning either for Christmas or for the new year. So I'd love for you to take up that offer. Are there any questions before we wrap up there? We're run a bit ahead of time, but that is okay. Any questions from anybody? If they'd like to pop them in the chat or take themselves off mute. All the links are in the chat. Again, thanks, Mary Lou. Lovely. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, we might wrap up there. Thank you all very much for joining us. It's been awesome to see you here. Thanks for your participation. And we wish you all the best for the silly season. If things just feel like they're still getting on top of you too much, as I said, reach out. Let's have a chat and make some plans, especially for you. And look forward to seeing you at our next sessions. Thanks so much. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.